Paul Smith and the USS Stark. To understand our next subject, we are going to review what remote viewing, or RV, is. It is the practice of seeking impressions about a distant or unseen subject or object, purportedly sensing it with the mind. Typically, a remote viewer is expected to give information about an object, event, person, or location that is hidden from physical view and separated at some distance. Remote viewing was an integral part of the U.S. government and U.S. military's research and development for decades. From that period, there are many purported examples of remote viewing accurately or nearly accurately seeing or revealing details of national security interest. One of the most significant of these examples comes from Paul Smith and the USS Stark in 1987. On May 17th of that year, and during the Iran-Iraq War, an Iraqi jet fired 2 Exocet missiles at the American warship, the USS Stark. Unfortunately, the ship's radar did not detect the inbound missiles, which both hit the ship. The first missile struck the portside hull, but did not detonate. The second struck near the same spot and exploded in crew quarters. 37 United States Navy personnel were killed, and 21 were injured. Interestingly, 50 hours before the attack, Paul Smith, a member of the U.S. intelligence's remote viewing program, predicted the attack from thousands of miles away. Paul Smith was a young U.S. Army captain who had no psychic or paranormal background when he was invited to the U.S. intelligence's remote viewing program in 1983. On May 15, 1987, Smith was summoned for a session. His custom during these sessions was to play hard rock from a mixtape to relax and prepare himself mentally. He was then given a set of coordinates to view remotely. According to Smith, he saw land, water, then structure. He said he then heard a clanging sound and sniffed a faint odor like sautéed celery. He wrote down several words like weapons, water, vessel, U.S. Navy, radar, aircraft involved, and don't know why. Smith also made 3 drawings, each unmistakably resembling a radar tower attached to a frigate or warship. He also described the structures as a moving structure. The session then took a radical turn. Loud sound, he reported aloud, along with a dome of light, misidentification, accidentally on purpose, aircraft involved, U.S. ship, blinding crew and electronics. When Smith arrived at the office on Monday morning, there was a newspaper on his desk with a startling headline that read, "28 killed on U.S. frigate USS Stark. Didn't use defenses, don't know why," Navy says. Smith had unknowingly been given the coordinates where the Stark had been patrolling off the coast of Saudi Arabia, near the Iran-Iraq exclusion boundary. The ship's electronic warfare support systems had not detected the incoming missiles, and no one knew why. He had perceived the USS Stark incident 50 hours before it actually happened. Later he said, "My impression had seemed real. I was vicariously living an event that turned out had not happened yet." The notes and information about his session were sent up the chain of command, but nothing ever came of it. Looking back, even if the remote viewing program was a success, the attack on the USS Stark brings into question how information gleaned was applied in the real world. Even though Paul Smith saw what later was deemed to be the attack on the USS Stark, would it have been possible to interpret the information in such a way to have saved the 28 sailors who lost their lives? As always, remain skeptical, open-minded, and curious. Truth can only stay hidden for so long.